Private Absher's defection in May 1962 was the first by an American since the Korean War. 3 months later, he was joined by Private First Class Dresnok. But even worse was to follow in December 1963, when Specialist 4 Jerry Wayne Parrish from Henderson, Kentucky, simply disappeared from a routine border patrol. Sergeant Charles Robert Jenkins, a non-commissioned officer from Rich Square, North Carolina, abandoned the nighttime patrol he was leading and took his M14 rifle to North Korea. In America, none of the defectors had graduated high school. In North Korea, their children were enrolled in Pyongyang's foreign language college.
Brazil government sent army lieutenant to arbitrate boundary dispute between French and Dutch Guyana. I started to learn English to become a diplomat. I'd like to make the world which has no war at all and no terror at all. My father is American and I've got American blood, but as I born here, I consider myself as Korean.
The children of the Americans may regard themselves as Korean. They study revolutionary history and the exploits of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. During the course of filming this project, allegations came to the fore that all the Americans were married to women who had been brought to North Korea against their will, and that Dresnok's first wife in North Korea was a Romanian kidnapped from Italy. Stories emerged that Absher's wife was from Thailand and not Korean, as Dresnok insisted, and that Parrish had married a woman kidnapped from the Middle East.
I don't see why it was so strange. Because I believe that people, the world think I'm a kidnapped girl. I'm not. My family and my government, they all know I'm in Korea. I'm not secret in Korea. And I'm free in Korea. I come here on my own. I wasn't forced. I wasn't kidnapped. I did all on my own. And my thinkings, my desire.
Parrish's wife still lives in Pyongyang. All three of their sons have attended the Foreign Language University. The eldest has served in the Korean People's Army. In 1980, Jenkins was asked to teach English to a Japanese woman. 6 weeks later, they were married. She was 21, he was 40. Unlike Jenkins, she had not voluntarily come to North Korea. 24 years after her abduction, Jenkins' wife was allowed to return to Japan. She refused to go back to North Korea. It transpired that she had been kidnapped in a bizarre plot to have North Korean spies trained in Japanese language and customs. The family separation became a major political issue in Japan. The governments of Japan and North Korea finally agreed for the Jenkins family to meet in Indonesia, which had no extradition treaty with the United States. They had been separated for 2 years. Upon his arrival in Tokyo, Jenkins was immediately hospitalized. Before turning himself in, Jenkins played his final card, an exclusive interview with an American journalist.
The North Koreans had allegedly held European and Middle Eastern people against their will, and those people had had children, and those children were going to be used in North Korea's spy program. We can speculate having agents that don't look Korean but have allegiance to the regime would be of value.
Upon his release from prison, Jenkins joined his wife on the Japanese island from where she had been kidnapped. His autobiography was published, but only in Japanese. Jenkins continued to speak of his miserable life in North Korea, of beatings by Dresnok, of his children being groomed to be spies,